What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers. Join me here today to talk about, can the Houston Texans, can they take command of the AFC South this upcoming season in 2024? Can they do it? Can they have another really good year? Last year, bit of a surprise. No one expected them to do that well, but this year, can they grab the bull by the horns, per se, and just take it home in the AFC South? Join me here today to debate that topic, to lend his expertise from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, Jay McLovin. Jay, how you doing, my friend? And how do you think the Texans will do this year? Are they going to be able to take home the AFC South trophy?
Yeah, first of all, it's good to be here, Logan. Appreciate you having me. Secondly, the Texans really, of course, this is their division. They control this division. The one thing I would tell C.J. Stroud is talk a little bit less, do a little bit more. He's been kind of talking some smack on some interviews about defenses. And C.J., the last thing you need to be doing is poking the bear when the bear's been poked already. You're not going to do yourself any favors. I promise you that. So keep it down a little bit over there, Killer B. But what he has to work with is crazy. He's got Mixon, obviously, and he's got Dameon Pierce as a 1-2 punch in the backfield. You look at his next three receivers, I mean, my gosh, man, when does it stop? You got Diggs, you got Collins, you got Tank Dell, you got Mechie, you got Robert Woods. I mean, you just got all these receivers around you. There's no reason why you shouldn't have one of the best, receiving cores in the league. Then you add in your tight end and Dalton Schultz. And I mean, that's like a perfect counterbalance right there for all of what you got going on. You go through their offensive line. Of course, they got a good offensive line. You look at their defense. It's a great defense. Will Anderson, between Anderson and Hunter and Autry and the other guy, they've got roughly about like 19 to 20 sacks in that front four group. So they've got a very, then their secondary looks even just as more amazing. So they've got everything really, Logan, in place to be the number one team in the AFC. They had the team in place that could be the Kansas City Chiefs. They could be the Baltimore Ravens. They could be the Miami Dolphins. I do. I really believe that this team has everything it takes to win. I think Jacksonville will put a little bit above 500 team up. I think Indy will put maybe right at 500 or maybe a little bit better. And then I think Tennessee is going to give you a goose egg. I mean, they're going to be horrible. So really, there's nobody in this division that can match this team or even keep them close from not getting it. What they can do, if they can do anything at all, is try to minimize them having home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Because as we know, and I've said this before, their number one weakness is cold weather environments, and KC is a cold weather environment, especially during the time of the month when the Super Bowl goes down. So just keep that in mind as they're building up towards the Super Bowl. But, Logan, the sky's the limit for this young Texas team. It really is, honestly.
You're not kidding, man. And, when you look at this team, like you said, they are stacked. I mean, they are loaded. You mentioned the offense, all the pieces they've brought in, and how better they've got. They already had a great offense, but now it just got even better. Obviously C.J. Stroud had a great season last year. You've beefed up your running back room. Yeah, you got rid of Singletary. But like you mentioned, you brought in Joe Mixon and Pierce. It's a really good 1-2 combo, both guys in their mid to late 20s. Their wide receiving room might be best in league. If not top three, I would say, man, with Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. I mean, just those three alone, that's going to get you touchdowns. You add in, as you mentioned, John Mechie, the third guy who has a lot of potential, just 23, coming out of Bama. You look at your tight ends, you've got, Brevin Jordan. Cade Stover as well, the rookie out of Ohio State, who they've, I'm sure, got some good potential for. O-line, they're going to put up some good work as well. But I think where this team is really going to look good, man, is, yes, the offense is going to be explosive. Their defense looks downright scary, especially that defensive line. Because you mentioned it, man. You got guys like Will Anderson. You got Danico Autry. You got Derek Barnett. You got a rookie they drafted out of the USC, Solomon Byrd. We'll see how much action he could maybe get, some packages there. Mario Edwards, Daniil Hunter. I mean, that is a opposing O-line's nightmare. And then you look at the rest of their team, man. They've got great players on the rest of it, with in their linebacking core, with Henry Toa. I mean, they've got also solid players, Christian Harris as well. I mean, and then like you said, the corners and safeties. I mean, it's their division to lose. I say it's their division to lose because not only do I think, and I think the real question isn't, are they going to take command of the AFC South? I think they are going to have a ball this year at the AFC South. If they don't win, it's a disappointment. I would say for this team, AFC South winning that division is like the minimum goal if I'm this team. Because I think they got bigger aspirations, Jay. I think this team could very well easily play in the AFC Championship game leading up to the Super Bowl. I think they've got that much talent. The turnaround that this team has had in such a short amount of time, Jay, is tremendous. People forget that D'Amico Ryans only started coaching this team last year. Last year, they were pegged as, they could do something. Young quarterback, unproven receiving core. Let's see what they can do. And now, Jay, here we are about 365 later, and we're saying this could be a team that runs away with their division and could potentially fight for a spot in the Super Bowl. I think that says a lot about the coach and D'Amico Ryans. I also think it says a lot about the rest of their team with their GM and Nick Caserio and how they were able to get these pieces and draft these players and sign these free agents to assemble the Avengers of the AFC South, dare I say, because that's how talented this team looks on paper. So my final thoughts, man, I think that the Texans are going to get this AFC South, bar none. They finished last year 10-7. I think they're going to go well beyond that. I think Jacksonville is going to put up a solid fight, but I really think that's the only competition they have. Indianapolis, not really sold on them quite yet, just because we saw Richardson's been dealing with some injury issues already early on. And then Tennessee is, I think, taking a step back. But I think that the AFC South is the Texans to own. I think they'll win it this year. And to answer the question you guys see, can the Texans take command of the AFC South? Very simply put, 100% yes, they can. But we want to hear from you, though, our fans. Will the Texans, can they take command of that AFC South? Will they win it? And how far can they go in the playoffs? We want to hear from you, our fans. Once again, Jay McLovin, appreciate you coming on the show, my friend. And until next time, we'll talk to y'all again on another.